Hello students, hope that all of you are keeping well. Today I am continuing with class 10 physics topic electricity. In my previous class I have explained Ohm's law. Once again I am reminding Ohm's law in similar way we can define Ohm's law as V is equal to IR. V is equal to IR. V stands for potential difference, I for electric current and R for resistance. And we were discussing about this resistance in the later part of the class. Resistance is that property of the materials or conductors due to which it resists the flow of electricity through it. Even though it's a conductor that allows electricity to pass through it, at the same time it offers a resistance due to which the electrons are unable to move freely. And from this formula, if you derive, then we can say I is equal to V upon R. Electric current I is inversely proportional to the resistance. That means, if resistance is more, electric current will be less. This is what I told you in my previous class again. Because of the higher resistance of the conductors, we are losing a major part of electricity during the transmission of electricity. So remember the point, I is always inversely proportional to R. When R increases, I decreases. So R decides how much of electric current is flowing in that circuit. We know that different components use different electric current. An activity is given in your NCERT book. In an electric circuit, you are given three materials: a nichrome wire, a 10-watt bulb and a torch bulb. One by one, if you connect these three components, first you connect nichrome wire and see the ammeter reading. You will get some value. Remove the nichrome wire and you connect a 10-watt bulb. You will get another reading on the ammeter. Finally, if you remove that 10-watt bulb and connect the torch bulb in that gap, you will get another value. What does it show? Different electric components consumes or use different amount of electric current. Reason? These different components have different resistance value. As I told you, when resistance increases, I decreases. So these three components, when connected to the same circuit, having the same potential difference, the ammeter reading in all the three cases will be different. Reason? Those components are having different values of R. So, remember this point, I is equal to V upon R. I is inversely proportional to R. Now we are going to study the next topic, factors affecting R of a conductor. Factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. In this activity I told you, different components offers different resistance in the circuit. That is one point. Now we are going to discuss for the same material, for the same component or same material, can the resistance change? Yes, it can. So we are going to discuss the factors that depends upon the resistance offered by a conductor. The first factor is length of the conductor. And the first point is resistance of a conductor is directly proportional to its length. R is directly proportional to L. Resistance of a conductor is directly proportional to its length. Means when L increases, R also increases. When L decreases, R also decreases. This point is very easy to understand. When L increases, electric current has to face more opposition, means more resistance, because this electric current has to travel a long distance. As it travels longer distance, the conductor will offer more and more resistance on it. So as the length increases, resistance also increases. This is the major problem in India during the distribution of electric current. When electric current is actually prepared in any power plant which is far away. Now from that power plant, when we are bringing that electricity through overhead wires, when it travels a long distance, due to the longer length of the conductor or wire, resistance increases. When resistance increases, I decreases. Just previous point. So this is all about for the same material. Now look at these two wires. I have taken two wires of the same material. Both are made up of same copper wire. I have cut both the wires from the same piece of wire. Now this is a shorter length wire and this is longer. So if the second wire is almost more than double the length of the first wire. So we know that when electricity starts flowing from one end and reaches the other end, it has to overcome the resistance offered by this wire while traveling through this wire. So when it travels from this end to this end, it has to overcome the resistance that is offered by this wire. But when electricity flows through this wire, as it travels through the wire, as the length increases, its resistance, its opposing power will also increase. Every point of this wire is opposing the flow of electric current through it. So as it travels more and more distance, it has to overcome more and more offense or resistance. So the point is, when length increases, R increases. See, provided both the wires are of the same size, not it. So when L increases, R also increases. First point. Now the second point is, the resistance of a conductor is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Here capital A stands for area of cross section. What do you mean by area of cross section? The area of this portion, area of the cross sectional portion is called area of cross section. Normally all the wires are cylindrical in shape. So area of cross section means area of this circular face. So R is inversely proportional to area of cross section. Or in other words, in simpler words, area of cross section is nothing but thickness of the wire. When area of cross section increases, thickness of the wire will also increase. So this point can be stated as, resistance of a conductor is inversely proportional to thickness of the wire. Suppose I have taken this wire and another wire of the same material, say copper, but thicker than this, then the thicker wire will have less resistance than the thinner wire. So remember the point, as thickness increases, resistance decreases, because R and A are inversely proportional. As A increases, R decreases. A means area of cross section. Area of cross section means thickness. So when thickness increases, resistance decreases. So by combining both the points, we can write R is proportional to L upon A. L into 1 upon A, that is L upon A. And we know that whenever we change the proportionality sign into an equal sign, we will use a constant of proportionality. Here the constant of proportionality is rho. So we got the formula R is equal to rho into L upon A. Another very important formula, R is equal to rho into L upon A. This rho is the constant of proportionality and this rho is known as resistivity. Rho is resistivity and its SI unit is ohm meter. Ohm meter is the SI unit of resistivity. Now what is this resistivity? Resistivity of a conductor is a material characteristic. Means resistivity does not depend on length or thickness or nothing. But it is a material property of that particular material. For example, resistivity of copper is a constant. Resistivity of silver is a constant. Resistivity of each metal or material or alloy is a constant. It never changes. Not the point. Resistivity rho never changes, but R changes. As I told you, the resistance of this wire and this wire are different, but the resistivity are same. Why? Because both are made up of same copper wire, same copper material. So resistivity of both these wires are same because the material is same, copper. So resistivity rho is a material property. It is a constant, and for good conductors, the resistivity value of good conductors is a very low value, because when rho decreases, then R will also decrease. And for a good conductor, R must be as low as possible. So, the good conductors are those having a very low value of rho. In terms of rho, you can see a table is given in your NCERT book showing the resistivity of different materials, and you can see silver is on the top. Since the resistivity value of silver is the least, silver is the best conductor of electricity. The resistivity value of silver is 1.6 into 10 raised to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 8 ohm meter, whereas the rho value, resistivity value of paper is 10 raised to 12 ohm meter. See the difference? Resistivity value of silver is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 8 ohm meter, whereas the rho value of paper is 10 raised to plus 12 ohm meter. Because of this very big value of rho of paper, paper is a poor conductor or it's an insulator. Because of this higher value of rho, if we calculate the resistance offered by paper, it will be a very big value. So when the R value increases largely, we consider it as a poor conductor or an insulator. So silver has the highest value of rho. It is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 8 ohm meter. So silver is the best conductor of electricity. So remember the point. If the rho value of a material is very less, that material is good conductor, best conductor. But as the rho value increases, the material will become less conductor, poor conductor, bad conductor and insulator. I think this point is clear to all of you. So R depends on two factors. First point is length, directly proportional. As length increases, R also increases. As length decreases, R decreases. Second is area of cross section. Area of cross section. In most of the wires, the shape is cylindrical. So area of cross section means area of that circle. In another way, we can say area of cross section is simply thickness of the wire. R and A are inversely proportional. So when thickness increases, resistance decreases. Combining them together, we got R is equal to rho into L upon A. Where this rho is a constant, this is known as resistivity. It is a material property. It never changes. Rho depends only on the material by which that conductor is made. If a wire is made up of copper, its rho value will remain same. If a wire is made up of silver, its rho will remain same. But depending upon its length and thickness, its R, resistance can change. Now I am moving to the next point. And the next point is resistance of a system of resistors. Means, now we are going to study different resistors. As I told you, resistors are the normal electrical components. These resistors can be connected in a circuit in two ways. Many resistors can be connected in a circuit in two different ways. The first one is called series combination. The resistors can be connected in series. What do you mean by series combination? See. I have taken three resistors with the resistances R1, R2 and R3. They are connected one after the other on the same piece of wire. Take a wire, cut it at one place, connect the first resistance there, then make another cut and connect the second one and then third. In this way, if you go on connecting different resistors one after the other on a wire, it is called series combination. So here R1, R2, R3 are connected in series. The second way of connecting the resistors in a circuit is called parallel. The resistors can be connected in parallel in an electric circuit. Now let's see what is meant by parallel combination. This way of connecting the resistors in a circuit is called parallel combination. See, R1, R2, R3. All these three resistors are connected with three different wires, but the end point of all the three wires are same, A and B. So take three separate wires and connect three different components on it, and finally when you connect all the three ends of all the three wires to the same point, it is called parallel combination. I think you got the point. Here the end points of R1, R2, R3 are different. R1 is connected between these 2 points, R2 is connected between these 2 points, R3 is connected between these 3 points. But in parallel, R1, R2, R3, all the three are finally connected between the same 2 points A and B. So these are the two types of connecting resistors in an electric circuit. Now we are going to study in detail when resistors are connected in series, what are the properties? Then we will discuss when resistors are connected in parallel, what are the properties? First I am going with resistors in series. See, three resistors R1, R2, R3 are connected in series. Always you have to remember two important points in series. When resistors are connected in series, the electric current in the circuit will remain same everywhere. The total amount of electric current in the whole circuit will remain same everywhere. That means if I connect this ammeter here or here or here or here, the value or the readings that is shown by the ammeter will remain the same. So point number 1, in series I remain same everywhere in the circuit. But point number 2, now see, this is the total potential difference of the circuit. This is the battery that we have connected to the circuit. So this decides total V of the circuit. A cell or a battery is the source of EMF or source of potential difference. So whatever is the total potential difference of this cell, this is the total potential difference of the circuit. Now, for this R1, the potential difference across R1, across R2 and across R3 will be different because the value of R1, R2, R3 are different. When electric current passes through different components having different R values, the potential difference will also change. So, if you connect an voltmeter between R1, say I call it as V1, and let us connect another voltmeter V2 across R2 and connect another voltmeter say V3 across R3, the readings of V1, V2, V3 will be different if R1, R2, R3 are different. So the total V of the circuit, this is the total V of the circuit. The total potential difference of the circuit will split into V1, V2 and V3 in series. So the second point is V splits across each resistor. So remember this very important 2 points. When resistors are connected in series, I remain same throughout the circuit, everywhere in the circuit. So irrespective of the place of ammeter, you will get the same reading. But V splits across each resistor. This V will split across each resistor as V1, V2, V3. That means V will be equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. So we can say total V of the circuit V will be equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Now using Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. So I may write IR is equal to IR1 plus IR2 plus IR3. Taking I common, I have taken I common on both sides and this I and I got cancelled. So I got R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. When resistors are connected in series, This R is called combined resistance or equivalent resistance. We denote this as RS, means equivalent resistance when connected in series. So we have derived a very important formula now. RS is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. RS stands for equivalent resistance. Equivalent resistance. Or it is also known as combined resistance. So equivalent resistance or combined resistance of three resistors R1, R2, R3 when connected in series is given by the formula RS is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. What does it mean? When more and more resistors are connected in series in an electric circuit, the total resistance of the circuit keep on increasing. Is it good or bad? It is bad in terms of electric current. We know that when R increases, I decreases. So the total current of the circuit will go on decreasing if you connect more and more R in series. And I may say, if you connect resistors in this way, in normal domestic electric circuits, then the components will not work properly, because as you add more and more R in series, the total R of the circuit will keep on increasing. When the total R of the circuit increases, I of the circuit will decrease. So different components will not get the sufficient amount or the required amount of I for its working, so the components may not work. So remember these points. When resistors are connected in series, formula for combined resistance or equivalent resistance is RS is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So that's all for today. I hope all of you understood the points discussed today. Please revise it and ask your doubts in the comment box. Till then, bye.